Mr. Anchia, for what purpose?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield for some questions about the bill?
Will the gentleman yield for questions? Will the gentleman yield for questions? Brad, will the gentleman yield for questions?
I yield, sorry.
The gentleman yields.
Thank you, Chairman Buckley. Just have a few more questions about how to qualify and how to show your immigration status. You know, we have heard a lot of discussion on HB3 about parental choice, but the section that Chairman Romero was asking about explicitly excludes parents from participating in the program that they pay into based on their willingness or ability to show citizenship or immigration status. Is that correct? So if somebody didn't want to provide immigration documents, then they would be excluded from the bill, right?
Yeah, that is correct. You have to prove citizenship.
And if they couldn't provide immigration documents, they'd be excluded from the bill, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Will there be exceptions? Are you going to be taking exceptions or have a perfecting amendment for students who have difficulty accessing personal documents? I'll give you an example. I didn't have my birth certificate for many, many years. My parents had it. A lot of times, children in foster care have difficulty accessing their documents. Students who are homeless have difficulty accessing their documents. And students, many times who have been kicked out of the house, have difficulty accessing their documents. Are there going to be any exceptions for those classes of students?
They need to follow state and federal law in producing documents to prove their citizenship and whether or not they're legally present.
But if they're unable to, no exceptions, they cannot participate?
They have to provide their, yes, sir.
Okay. I wanted to delve into a few, because your bill, as Chairman Romero pointed out, used the term lawfully admitted, and you mentioned that it was your intention for the bill to adhere to the Immigration and Nationality Act definition for lawfully admitted. I wanted to go through a few statuses of people that would be lawfully present but potentially not lawfully admitted. So are you aware that victims of violence that have what are called VAWA, Violence Against Women Act green cards, are usually subjected, that you have to make a finding of battery or extreme cruelty? That definition excludes green cards holders. Would that classification of women be ineligible for the green card program because they are technically not lawfully admitted, but they are lawfully present?
I'm not advised on that particular circumstance that you bring up.
So it is your understanding then that you can be lawfully present in the United States but not lawfully admitted under the Immigration and Nationality Act, right?
It sounds that
That does happen to be the case.
Yeah. Did they have the?
It is also the case with U visas. U visas are only granted to crime victims in the United States who aid in the prosecution of a crime, and this definition that you have of lawfully admitted would exclude U visa recipients as well. Are you aware of that?
I'm not advised of the details of that.
Are you aware that children who are here with special immigrant juvenile status protections, they oftentimes are abused, abandoned, or neglected by a parent, that those children who need access to mental health and counseling services, your definition may exclude these children from the voucher program? Are you aware of that?
I'm not advised. If they're
Okay.
U.S. citizens
And
or legally
children-
present, they're eligible.
And I just want to point out
I got you.
that there are people who are lawfully present in the United States but may not, under your definition of lawfully admitted, be covered by the voucher program. And I think you want to get at people who are here lawfully, like people with TPS protections, temporary protective service, right? Pardon me, status. They've experienced natural disasters in their country, political turmoil in their home country, Cuba, Venezuela. Your definition also excludes them. I just wanted to make you aware if you were not aware of that. Are you aware?
I'm not advised.
Okay. And finally, children who seek asylum, who have had to flee their home country due to political prosecution or prosecution due to religious beliefs, like, for example, Yazidi Christians who may be here as asylees, your definition excludes them. Were you aware of that?
I'm not advised of their
Okay.
status.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time. I just wanted to get that in the record.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Reynolds, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, will the gentleman yield for some
Will the
questions?
gentleman yield for